Hotch Potch. It's the launch party.
Thank you, everybody. So, the mixer questions are really about just getting to know each other and adding some fun to the process. But now what we're going to do is we're going to hear from Ayumi, who's one of our guest artists, and we're just going to hear a little bit about her process creating the images that she contributed to Volume 2, Issue 1. So Ayumi, I'm going to hand it over to you.
This is a surprise. I didn't know I was going to talk.
Oh, you don't, then I might have misunderstood. We could keep going if you.
That's okay. I mean, I think my process comes from this phoenix. It's all about magic and found things. So, oh yeah, I wasn't ready for this. I mean, my process is in the interview. If anybody read it, I'm sorry, I was not clear. Yeah,
we can keep going, Ayumi. I just misunderstood. I thought that.
I'm sorry.
No sorries. No sorries. We were like so thrilled to have you be a part of this issue, and your artwork is super powerful. And I was so happy to write stories to your art. You made my life so easy because it was just like they were so full of ideas and inspiration. So we're thanking you.
Yeah. I can respond to that. That's something I can respond to. So I started out in dance and theater. And so my art process has a lot to do with telling stories. And in fact, my art has been in more literary journals than it's been in art journals. Writers pick up on my art faster than anybody else because I think that's why, just as you said, Marco, there's a story there. And it was really thrilling to work with all you people and all you wonderful writers and see where you took the image. But I do want to say it's really writers who resonate with my art more than anybody else. So I want to thank you. And it's thrilling for me to have my art and to collaborate with you guys. And I've also been really happy to meet you because I have more friends now who understand us. So that's
very cool. Well, we're going to jump back into the readings. So let's see. Next up is Susan, who will read an excerpt from her story that I really, really liked. I liked all the stories, and that story's title is Say Goodbye to the Pirate.
Yes, thank you. My mother had social anxiety disorder around people, but she was fine with ghosts and demons. These populated our home when I was little, and as I wasn't able to see them, lacking my mother's sensitivity and education in this area, she told me when they were around and translated their language for me. She filled me in on their various gossips and warned me of those it was best not to antagonize. There were many ways to unintentionally disturb spirits or demons or provoke them, words that shouldn't be uttered, motions that shouldn't be made. You could even awaken them with certain music, such as the Purgan suites. Sometimes I'd inadvertently make a gesture that could summon one of them, but my mother was always quick to reverse it with her own spells, and she would clean my aura, a process she taught me, moving your hands like a pair of windshield wipers over a virtual rectangle in front of your face, should it need it. As I said, our home was full of these characters, some brought by careless actions, others just loitering between worlds in earshot, waiting for an invitation in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really love the idea of this character who is really nervous around people, but super comfortable with the supernatural.
Thank you.
Wonderful. We have a couple more questions. This first one is, if you had the opportunity to go back in time or into the future with a time machine, which would you pick and why? And if you picked going back in history, what time period would you pick? So this is sort of a two-parter.
I'll go. No one minds. All right.
You were on the list anyway.
Well, I mean, this is kind of like this is the question I wanted to get because basically our story kind of deals with that. So obviously I would go back in time to where the story takes place to be completely 100% accurate. But given that, probably my second choice would be, I've always been fascinated with the 60s, everything, the JFK assassination, the Vietnam War, all that stuff. So I've been very big into the 60s. So I would go back there and just kind of take it in. And, there's a lot of transition and stuff of history that was going on at the time. So obviously I didn't live through the 60s, too young, but my mom did. So she told me about it, a lot of the stuff she went through. So that'd be my number one choice.
That's great, Javier. Thank you so much. Fantastic. I've been fascinated with the 60s too. I just barely missed it. Somebody else?
I'll go.
Go ahead. Hang on. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I would like to go back to 1942 during World War II to a place called Beaulieu, which was southwest of London. And it's where the spies were trained. And they were all these estates. It was thousands of acres, and one estate trained spies that were going into France. One estate trained spies that were going into Poland. And I had the fortune to go there with my husband. We kind of trespassed and found these places. It was the coolest thing. But I would love to go there, be there back when it was actually happening. So I wrote a book about a dog that works with the spy, and she's trained at this place. So this is one place I would like to go. So that's mine.
It's great. My God, who knew? Wonderful. And is there anyone who hasn't gone yet, who's a contributor to this issue, who would like to answer that question? Any of us? Any of us?
Sure, I'll go. I'd probably like to go back to whenever the pyramids were built. So who knows when that is, but it's probably not what they tell us. And I've heard or read that the limestone was not cut, but it was formed, and with some sort of a gluey kind of cement that was made of sandstone mixed with the cement that apparently doesn't exist, or we don't know what the formulation is. And so through thousands of years, they haven't shifted, the bottom layer hasn't gotten crushed. So I would like to actually go and observe them being built and look at their technique.
Cool.
Fantastic.